Today on the channel we are going to be doing a comic book review of The Phantom, issue number 1989, 36 pages long, and the story is Deadly Conspiracy. The front cover is done by Jason Paulos, which is really cool. In a way it's sort of like Marcelo Bates. He uses different colors for different types of scenes, and that's really cool. I like it. For this story we've got the writer is Norman Worker and the artist is Georgia Spess. If you've been a long Phantom fan for a very long time, what is your top 5 in writers from Sweden that have done Sweden and Norwegian Phantom stories? What is your top 5 writers and what is your top 5 artists that have worked on the Phantom in the Norwegian countries? And this story starts in Ivory Lana, a neighbouring state to Bengala. Was the operation a success, Professor? Yes, it was. A complete success, Minister. President Goranda now has a pacemaker implanted in the heart. What's a pacemaker? Simply a device that's inserted patient's chest. It sends impulse to the heart muscle into the electrical relegating it to a normal pace. They are quite common nowadays, and I assure you that the president will be able to live a normal life. You've done our country a great service tonight, Doctor. We're deeply grateful to you. And because of that, someone then gets told that, hey, the president's got an implanted device in his heart, so let's go and make this invention that tries to create an assassination. And all of a sudden, he's out and about, he's meeting people, and then all of a sudden, he starts to feel unwell, and someone tries to assassinate him, but he fails. And he survives. The next time, it's at a party, and there's another person, and the Phantom is on watch. He's trying to make sure that the Phantom and the president of Ivory Lana is safe, but he's not safe. He ends up having another one of those types of episodes where it's having a real physical impact, and that's the pacemaker. They end up making this device that looks like a camera, but actually does a lot more damage than what a camera actually does. The camera normally is what you use to take photos and videos and all that type of stuff. But in this context, it's directly affecting the device that is the pacemaker that relegates everything that's going on with his heart. And someone is taking huge advantage of that and wants him dead. Wants him dead because they want the country to go back to the old ways of how things were run before that country became a diplomatic country and working things out the smarter way than making enemies with other people in other countries. That's why people don't like dictators, because they're not great. They're not great, and they normally do very terrible things to their people. And so we have General Solana and his gang. He's planning a coup with the Boy Jongo junta to seize power in Ivory Lana. And in doing so, he seizes power by taking out the person that needs to be there, which is the president. And if he takes out that, well, then he has free power to seize whatever he wants. He can just say, I'm going to have that, let me take that, and you're not going to have any opposition against this because I'm your guy. I'm the guy that's going to get it done. I'm the guy that's going to take your country back to 150 years ago. And the Phantom mysteriously makes his way into camp. He rescues the president and takes the general into custody. He goes ramming through another gate, through a car. And then they go onto a boat. This guy that is also following him wants him dead. Wants everyone dead. and they end up going crossing the border, and they make it safely back. But there is still danger. They still need to get through there. They make it through the border, and one of the guys says, What was that? An express train? I really do not know. 10 minutes later at the petrol station just inside the border of Ivory Lana. It is vital. Please connect me immediately to the President Luago of Bengala in the presidential palace. To the president? Oh, well, then I'll do what I can. They take this old 1930s car, and they take it into the town at midday. We'll make it, but the wedding must already have started. And also, to put this into a really, really good context, is that the president was kidnapped. He was taken to elsewhere. The Phantom goes and rescues him, has also the general inside and stops that person, and then all of a sudden, the president needs to go to his wedding, which creates an implication that there's another path that he has to take to get through to all of this. And this car really doesn't have that much in speed. At midday, we'll make it, but the wedding must already have started. There is President Luago and your father. You there too? You there, stop, out of the car. If you're planning to try something here, don't worry, there's no danger, Constable. They are friends of mine. They end up making it to the wedding, just in time. The church bells, of course. He could be hit there. You'd better hurry. Dinah's waiting for you. The assassination is about to begin. But it doesn't, because he's up in the church bells. There's a race against time to try and find him. They find him, and the Phantom says, I was right. And now you will make your exit. No, Asolana, you're the one who'll be leaving the stage. Phantom, and so, come, General, we have a special room reserved for you. It's been waiting patiently. In a cell. In a room where there's not much. Waiting patiently for you to stuff up. Do you want your back? Do you want this back, Professor? Only to make sure the devilish device is destroyed. The camera ends up being destroyed. But what if there was more than one camera? If there was all those plans on how to remake it? What if this is not how this story may end? What if there's another story? Now, I'm just going to go a little waffle here. What if there's another story where the plans that were made to show how we make this device was still intact, that someone went and stole that plan, stole it and then made it themselves and then wanted revenge over it? How good would that be of a story? We know that this device, the original device, is gone. But what about the plans and the actions to show you how to make it again? What if they were still made? What if they were still around? What if there was copies of that are still around? I think that'd be making a good story, and then the Phantom has to come in and try and make sure that this another assassination attempt doesn't happen. I reckon that would be a good story. Most Phantom stories are like that. They'll have one story where it'll end like this, and then the second story will be a revenge type story. Someone comes in from 20 years after the thing had happened, and they come in and they say, oh, I'm going to be taking revenge on you. You destroyed my life. I am now going to destroy everyone you know and love. That'd make a pretty good story. There's always two, and they always start at the Chronicle Chamber. They always start at the Chronicle Chamber, reading a book, and yeah, it always starts there. Or it could even start with the Phantom at visiting Diana Palmer Walker, and the kids at the treehouse, and they get a phone call to say that, oh, someone's someone who tried to assassinate the president is back. He's out of prison, or he's escaped, or something like that. I think that would be a good story. Okay, enough of me waffling on. Be like the Colonel. If you want to be like the Colonel and subscribe to the Phantom for $218 per year, you always get your Phantom comics 2 days, sometimes 3 days, before the comic book actually hits the news agencies, because news agencies normally get their comic books and their magazines on a Monday and a Thursday. They get them those 2 days. And the Thursday is when the Phantom comes out. And if you subscribe through View, you actually get your comic books 2 or 3 days earlier, depending on where you live, earlier than the news agency. Because, yeah, it's pretty convenient that way. You can subscribe online at www.phantomcomic.com.au. Now, I'm not sponsored by a few publications to say that. I just say that because I think it's a good thing to try and support local publishers that are publishing the Phantom in Australia. And if we're doing that more often than not, then that might lead to more subscriptions and the Phantom staying alive in Australia. So, yeah, that was the comic book review of the Deadly Conspiracy, The Phantom, issue number 1989. And as always, keep Phantom caving, stay safe, and you will see me next time with a lot more comic book reviews coming out on the channel very, very soon.